So it's December 23rd, and I sat down to edit this, and something happened with a good chunk of this video, and I was not able to edit it. So you are getting a fully unedited version of me just sitting there. You're gonna hear a track by track analysis of this because I felt like doing it. But hey, it's a good way to cap off list week. So awesome. I hate this computer and I hate this editing software, but I'm too broke to pay for anything else. Enjoy the review and have a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, guys! Yeah, it's Christmas. Well, today it's not Christmas. It's Christmas when this is gonna get uploaded. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. This is the final installment of Classics Week. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. I'm probably going to bring it back next year at around the same time. I want to make this a yearly thing. So, if you want to do that, like each video, especially this one. This is probably my favorite album out of this bunch. We are going to be talking about My Chemical Romance's massive emo rock opera, The Black Parade. This is the third studio album from rock band My Chemical Romance. Gerard Way, Ray Toro, Frank Iero, and Mikey Way. This was their big, crazy, I don't want to compare this to American Idiot, but they're both kind of rock operas. And Rob Cavallo, the same producer on American Idiot, also worked on The Black Parade. So, rock opera. So, I don't usually talk about this genre of music often, but this was the album that got me into pop punk and emo. This was incredible. I usually don't start off with reviews like this. There are so many bangers on this album. I don't like to call rock songs bangers, but there's really no other question. And this is also the most conceptual album that I'm talking about this week. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through it track by track. We're going to do this. So, we're going to start off with the intro track called The End. This is a bit of a power ballad. Emphasis on power. There's a bit of a dream sequence in here that have these screaming vocals done by Way, which go back and forth in a pretty genius way. There's some acoustic guitar, and eventually it all explodes into this crazy sound that is honestly pretty amazing. And that is a good transition into the next track, Dead, which is like a shot of adrenaline all the way through, which starts with a flat line, which kind of starts off the concept, somebody passes away, with an amazing shred by Ray Toro, which is one of the best guitar shreds I've ever heard is on that track. And it goes into the first verse, which is just as cold, and this man, as it's saying, this man is dying and no one cares about him. The choruses are powerful and there's so much sarcasm in this. And although there is a short guitar solo, but there's so much packed into it. And then you hear the 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 into a part that feels so energetic and sarcastic, but it's really soul crushing at the same time. And then that moves into the track This Is How I Disappear. This is more of a sinister track than the first two. The first verse is more toned down, and then it moves into, and then it transitions into the chorus, which the transition is really powerful. And this chorus is angsty. This chorus is so angsty. And then the final third of this song, oh my god. Oh my god, this is incredible. Holy fuck. And then it slows down to a ballad, then it brings back the heavy guitars, and then it keeps pulling you back into this final chorus and ending, which is perfect for a Halloween type of vibe. And then the next track after that, The Sharpest Lives, takes a similar sinister tone from the first track, but this is definitely more of a story emphasis of the choices that led the patient to this moment. The man that we're talking about, that flat line at the beginning of this album. I like the whispering effect. Is the whispering effect from the first track is put back into the background. It's put me a little bit unease, but then it goes into the chorus, which is not the best on the album, but it's still pretty great. The second verse keeps the same feel, but just a little more sinister, and going into another guitar solo with the bass and the lead guitar just meshing perfectly. And then that final chorus even more sinister. And then that bass again, and then it fades out to one of the most iconic piano chords ever. Oh my god. Where do I even start with Welcome to the Black Parade? Where do I even start with this song? It This is some of the most beautiful vocals I've ever heard in a rock song. Gerard Way's vocals on this are impeccable. It feels like a marching band, like the little dude on the cover. And with this little piano fading out, it instantly brings out these guitars, and Gerard is screaming and fading out, and then going back into these drums, which is an amazing intro to the next part, as if we're upbeating, and then we hear those iconic lines, "We will carry on, we will carry on," and then goes into the next verse with even more power, and the next chorus keeps the same. Oh my god. This is a hot take here. Welcome to the Black Parade is one of my favorite and one of the best choruses in any genre of all time. This song has no bad elements. This is a perfect song. So after this, after Welcome to the Black Parade, we get into I Don't Love You. It starts with these beautiful, also kind of melancholic chords that go into this great verse with so much anger and sadness in here. But the chorus shows the emotion behind the song. And Gerard has more of a snarky and sarcastic tone, and then it goes into the next verse, which is talking about abuse, saying that down and out is where you ought to stay. And then it goes into another beautiful chorus, and then that very powerful guitar solo if you've heard the song. And then it just explodes after a slowed chorus. And then it fades out into the next track, House of Wolves. Whew. We're halfway through the album at this point. We are. We are. We're halfway through. So there's is amazing guitar intro at the beginning, and that leads into this very sinister verse where he's questioning what the afterlife will be, and the drums blend with the verse perfectly with the pacing and the tone. And then it explodes into the chorus with these perfect blends of guitar and drums. And then the screams throughout of S-I-N, S-I-N. Whew! I had to take a break after that one. I don't know if I finished up with House of Wolves, so I am just going to cut to the next song, Cancer. So, this is about where you find out that in the story, this is the patient, the man had died of cancer. It's one of the shorter songs on the album. I don't know why I'm laughing, but it has these really powerful piano chords and singing that have so much emotion. And just when it gets boring, it it pulls you right back in by adding drums and this beautiful violin that really is a cherry on top of the song, and then it fades out. Oh, good lord. This is. Oh. Oh my god. Mama. Oh my god. This is the most sinister song on the album. And a contender for one of the most sinister songs ever. It has these little short chords at the start, and they go into the first verse with a safety belt. And then, as we get into the chorus, this explodes with no safety belt. It's off the rails. Throughout the track, Gerard has this really bizarre singing voice, which can be borderline ugly at times. And also these words, I can't say these lyrics on YouTube. How can you say, like, who comes up with this? And along with Liza Minnelli's on this. Yeah, Liza Minnelli's on this song. This and also the ending is absolutely chaotic and really fits in with the final part with the violin and the crying that just ends like really beautifully. And honestly, the next track is called Sleep. This is another creepier song. It starts off with a tape recorder playing a therapy session of a person having night terrors. And about 30 seconds into it, you hear some drums and then bam! It comes in at full force in your face. No no holds barred. And then it goes into this really calm verse for this album with incredible lyrics, and then another explosive chorus, and then another calm verse, and then another explosive chorus, and then the tape recorder starts playing again. And then Gerard says like just sleep, I think it is. And throughout this whole thing, a really cold and dark bass line is playing. And then another explosive moment, which is probably the most explosive moment on the album. And then Gerard is just screaming, just sleep, over and over. And then he yells, wake up. And then it ends. And then the tape recorder plays for final time, and that says, it feels like I can't ever wake up. And then you hear the tape recorder shut off. That was a perfect ending. It's a crazy song. The only track that is unrelated to the story of this album is this next one, Teenagers. It's a great song by any means, but there's lines of I love this like theme about how society's afraid of teenagers, that they scare the living shit out of me. And then there's also this great guitar solo in there. When we go into probably the worst track on here, Disenchanted. Uh, it ain't bad. It's not really good. It just doesn't have that same level of grandeur that the other tracks have. There's not really a lot too special about this. Well, I just gotta say, um, this album does kind of end on a whimper with famous last words and the hidden track Blood. I'm not really a fan of either of these. And then also there is although the ending of Famous Last Words is pretty incredible. I love the transition the with a repeating chorus with the sound fading out at the end. And the last thing that's there is Gerard singing and an organ playing. But then after that, Blood, honestly, I just don't think it has anything going for it. But oh my god. Outside of that, this is a great album. Nearly every track is worth a standing ovation. Although it does kind of trickle off at the end, I I honestly did I really considered having a different album in this place to cap off this classics week. But I don't know. This is like a genre defining album. If MCR does end up coming back and putting out new music, which is actually kind of rumored right now, this is pretty much, if they hit this level of greatness again, it's over. This is gonna be dope as hell if they hit this level again, if they even come back at all. Okay, I think we've had enough. Thank you for tuning in for Classics Week. Next week, we're gonna do the year-end stuff. Outside of that, there might be one review, because there might be an album coming out today. By the time this is up, it should be out if it's coming out. But outside of that, that's it for Classics Week. Uh, Thank you for tuning in all this week. I love you guys. All right? Thank you.